Hi, my name is Attorney Walter, if not the third. I'm with Disability Resolution PA. Let's go through question 196 of the top 200 Social Security disability questions that you're likely to run into. Here we go. 196 is, how does your arthritis limit your abilities to function? So right off the bat, we talked about listings before and being able to Google them so you can learn more about it. Most of the inflammatory rheumatoid, they're going to be in basically your 14.0 listings. You should also look into some of the language that they find in the 1.0 listings, which are the musculoskeletal based listings. But the point here is, when talking about, and I know you're not coming here to just like go look something up. You want me to like tell you how this works, and I get that. Arthritis, it depends on where you have it, right? It could be in your hands, could be in your knees, could be in your feet, could be in your hips. If it's a weight-bearing joint, that's important. You want to talk about how you have limitations with ambulation, standing, walking, sitting. You want to talk about difficulties that you have with sleeping because you're laying, you have to switch positions all the time. You want to talk about the shooting pain. You want to talk about the types of pain that you have. You want to give a good timeline as to where things started and how it got worse, because arthritis, that tends to be a timeline-oriented impairment. Some of these impairments like, oh, I broke my bone because I was in a car accident. That's a boom, moment in time. But the arthritis claims, they tend to be, they grow over time. So what you have to do with these is you have to realize for certain types of arthritis, like they're looking for limitations with, your ability to hold things, your ability to do fine manipulative features with your fingers. They're looking for basically how bad is the pain, how long do you have the pain, are you on pain medication, do you have a pain specialist? Make sure you're able to talk about these sorts of functions, and keep in mind there are certain daily activities that they're looking to trip you up on usually a bit with this stuff, which is like, well, are you able to do outside activities? Well, I like to do a bit of gardening. Boom, red light. Oh, okay, so how's your home life? Well, we're trying to have another kid. Boom, red light. Let me think of another one. Sewing, embroidery, typing. These are all things that are going to throw up a red light. I remember one time the judge passed away, but the judge, so I know sewing really well, because I know how to sew and I know all the different techniques, and I got a brother machine and all that jazz. So here's and a surgeon. But the point is this: with sewing, we had a judge that really knew sewing as well. Like really knew sewing as well. So my arthritis claim for the hands automatically went into a very dangerous pool of water, because all of a sudden the claimant was like, well, my hobby was sewing. Oh, what have you recently sewed? Oh, nothing recently. Oh, nothing at all? What did you used to sew? Well, I did do a little thing recently. Oh, tell me about it. Well, I was making a pillow for my friend, and I was doing some needlework on it, and I'm sitting there going, well, this was a fun drive. This was good. We had a good hearing. I think we will now begin the process of realizing this is going to be a denial. And remember that, you guys, I love you dearly, but you do say the most just what the hell are you thinking things while you're in there. And I realize you got to be honest, and I understand that. You need to be honest as you go through this process. But sometimes you guys will say something and not realize that when he's talking about recently, he doesn't mean this year. Or he means this year. She means this year. The judge means like this year. When you're like, oh, I did something recently and it turns out to be 3 years ago, that's not recently. That's way the hell a couple of times around the sun ago. You know what I mean? And here comes the argument from the claimant. Oh, I just with the impairment, I don't think, and yada, yada, yada. And I get that. And then we have to do cross-examination. Well, what is, and that's where I come in. Well, walk me through this, ma'am. So you explain that you recently were able to do this embroidery. Can you tell me what type of embroidery was it? Oh, it was a very complex one. That's excellent. When did you finish it? Oh, about 3 years ago. Oh, okay. What was it for? It was a friend's, blah, blah, blah. That's where, this whole cross-examination thing is absolutely crucial. When you guys are like, oh, I'm going to go do my hearing on my own, it doesn't mean, it doesn't mean anything to me. Like, I've got a bunch of claimants, but I'm thinking in my head, this person's an idiot. And the reason why is not that the person could actually be an idiot. It's because the person is foregoing their right for, to have the opportunity to have a cross-examination. And remember, this is a hearing, and it's supposed to be non-adversarial. serial, right? Not adversarial. It's supposed to be that, but the reality, and we all know it is that some of these judges can get pretty cranky and pretty aggressive, which as a result makes it highly adversarial. But the bottom line is this: the judge is like opposing counsel in the regard that they are asking the direct examination of the claimant. Should it work this way? The only reason it does is not for, it's not in the sense of it should work. It shouldn't work this way. The only reason it does work this way is pretty much from what I see, financial purposes. They don't want to have to pay a zillion attorneys to then interact with us as, they're opposing counsel to us, and then the judge sits there while we figure this whole thing out. They don't want to do that. What they want to do is the judge asks the questions, we're basically the opposing counsel, and the judge does their thing on direct, we do cross, and then we go through it. Otherwise, they'd have to pay an attorney to just sit there through every single hearing, which they don't want to do. So, I can't speak on their behalf. But what do you guys think? Do you think that they want to have to pay an attorney to sit and oppose you for every single hearing that's had? No, they don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. Okay? So the bottom line is this. When it comes down to it, please remember, and arthritis people, you guys are the absolute worst for being prepared for the hearing. I don't know what it is. To me, it's the easiest one to think about, because it's like you can't use that part of your area, that part of your body, the area of your body that is affected by, these arthritis-based issues. You can't use that part of your body because, to me, that's like the easiest thing to start. Like, if you were like, well, I have a really unique thyroid issue or lymphatic issue or some sort of chemical issue, those are more complex. Or the brain ones. The brain ones, oh my goodness. where do you get the medical evidence for something that's, a new trial, and what's the most recent medical treatment that can occur? Okay, so that's, 10 states north of, it's one of those. So my point is this, with arthritis people, you have one of the easiest things. You know exactly where the problem is on your body. They have tons of medical treatment and massive amount, oceans worth of medical knowledge when it comes to arthritis. Although, yes, I understand they haven't magically figured out, I get that. But bottom line, work with me here, guys. With your arthritis, you know what's going on. But a lot of you guys don't prep. For some reason, I don't know what it is, prep for the hearing or start thinking about how you're going to go ahead and reflect your limitations to the medical consultants, the medical experts, your physicians, the administrative law judges, the DDS reps. You know what I mean? Anyways, enough on my soapbox. Remember, guys, if you want the most up-to-date information, shoot me an email or give me a call. If this video helped in any way, please leave me 5 stars. Google Avo Better Business Bureau, and the link is below. Other than that, remember, I go live 8 to 10 every Thursday on YouTube, Eastern Standard Time. If you want to catch up with me, that's a great time. Call in, use a fake name, and we'll go from there. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.